Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and another episode of Castlevania, episode 7. Last time on Castlevania, the trippiest episode of the series so far, we've been following Saint Germain and learning more and more about the Infinite Corridor. And last episode, we got to see him traverse that in his dreams, sort of reminiscing about this woman that he explained to Seth and Trevor that he lost somewhere in Infinite Corridor. Of course, as I mentioned, it begs the question: is Saint Germain actually human? He said he's immortal, which gives me the impression that perhaps he's not of this world. But more importantly, the Infinite Corridor being a portal to hell and offering the opportunity for Dracula to make his return. Although, the more we get into um, Isaac's story, kind of catapulting off the conversation with the captain and Isaac. The more Isaac is has begun writing his own story, the more it sort of diverges from Dracula. So my thing this season has been that Isaac and Hector would have some hand to play in Dracula's return. That's seeming more and more less likely now, but what may actually happen, my new theory, I suppose, is that actually Isaac will be opposing Dracula once Dracula actually returns, because he was the loyal servant to a fault in the first in the last season. But I do believe when they do cross paths again, Isaac will be a completely different individual, and we keep seeing that in more conversations he has with these strangers. And the last creature that he conjured from hell, that in the last episode, where they had a very profound discussion about being a sinner, and just how insane the whole world is, And Isaac is he's slowly writing his own story, and I believe when Dracula does make his return, Isaac will no longer want the human race to be completely eliminated, and they're going to. I think Isaac is being, he's going to grow into a good character. I wouldn't say he was bad initially. He's just seen the world at its worst and humans are at their worst, and he made a decision that, okay, I'll support Dracula's plan. But I do think he's going to see that there are, as the captain puts it, if you wipe everyone out, there'll be no more surprises, no more acts of kindness or any of that. And I think he's seen that now, and he and Dracula um, will no longer see eye to eye, and he may in fact team up with Trevor, Safa and Alucard in getting in facing Dracula once more, right? I don't particularly think that would be this season. If anything, it would be a setup for the fourth season. At least so I hope. I do want there to be a different baddie this season, not just focus on Dracula, which is why I'm glad they haven't done that yet. And I'm hoping that they don't until the very last episode if Dracula is revealed. Right. Of course, we also caught up with Lenore and Hector. Hector is I've completely written Hector off now. I'm just waiting to see the how he actually meets his demise, or that will be at the hands of the very vampires that he's so trusting of now. Um, he's, as I described him in last season. He's a child with more power than he knows what to do with, and they're going to use him if there is a possibility of him giving command of of his creatures, his forged creatures to the vampires. Once he's done that, they'll just eliminate him. They will no longer need him. But if he does stay and choose to fight of his own accord, be loyal to them, I cannot wait to see that face off with Isaac, and Isaac rip him apart. I can't wait. And of course, the mystery at the Priory, we now know what is down there. It's obviously, a portal to the Infinite Corridor, but our team has yet to figure out a way in. And I think they're trying to avoid a clash with the monks of the Priory, but I don't think there's any way to avoid that. I don't think there's any way to avoid that. And of course, um, Alucard and his two pupils, who I'm more and more becoming suspicious of. I said it in the last episode that I don't know, something about them. Everything just they just seem too nice. Their story about Cho and them traveling this far after she's dead, because they fear some other vampire may take up her position. But I don't know, something about their story just doesn't make sense. If they were strong enough to kill Cho's guards, I think they would be able to defend themselves against some vampires. Um, and all of Dracula's generals are dead. So the only powerful ones I can think of that remains are Carmilla and her sisters, and possibly those we don't know about. But they're pretty far away. So I don't know. I don't trust these two people just yet. So but we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. Episode 7. Let's check it out. All right. Back with Alucard and his pupils again.
I thought we were going to look at the rest of the armory today.
And Alucard is a bit too trusting, especially with the Belmont research and books and weapons and all of that.
Maybe.
Just open it up to some strangers that just showed up one day.
I have things to do. Follow me.
They seem very interested in Dracula's castle. Which Belmont was that?
This is the Belmont Hold. The final repository of a family who spent generations learning how to do one thing.
Why didn't Trevor take some of this shit?
Kill monsters. Including vampires.
What about people?
I'm fairly sure you know how to kill people.
Joe had many human warrior slaves. Maybe more than we can take on our own.
Well, we can look at tactics.
And the light meat lamps?
But you do need to understand. I'm sharing all of this with you, so that you remember it and pass it on.
I don't
Not just
disagree,
the
but
making.
you should probably vet these persons first to ensure that their story is actually true before you give them.
No running. I've told you 1,000 times I won't have
Just
children
give them the
running
information.
like wild dogs through my town. And I've told you in particular more than 20 times, haven't I?
And you'll be
Haven't
telling
I,
him the
boy?
21st time in a few days.
Would you like to know a secret? If you go into the woods through the back field and follow the path until the fork, past the point the way your parents say you shouldn't go, right? I happen to know there's an apple tree in the clearing after that. So, if you promise not to tell a soul where you're going, go and get yourself.
And
3
Judge is not a
apples.
bad guy.
And no more running.
He's not a bad guy. That's funny on so many levels, especially what's happening now with the coronavirus and people hoarding toilet paper. Yeah. I don't trust you, Saint Germain. Tend to read again for a few hours until everyone goes to take a piss and then try to sneak in again. Or is there actually information there that he can use?
Not an obvious
Yeah,
thing
why
to
the
find
hell would
in
that be in a church?
Prior Sala? Prior Sala?
Oh, good. Saint Germain.
A question, Prior.
We are quite busy this morning, I'm afraid.
This book, do you recognize it?
Old priors are known to find themselves storing old and unusual books.
Indeed so, but someone recently read this book, Sala, after which they tore a section out.
I fail to see why this should interest me.
Because the missing section involves methods and processes for returning people from hell.
Why would that
Perhaps someone
surprise you?
pulled out those pages to wipe their backside.
And they don't care.
Sala, you told me not to treat you as if you were mad.
Written by a Forge Master, though. Recently. So is there a Forge Master in town?
Disappoint me.
He's being direct. Or is he trying to sow, seeds of suspicion or something among the men so that Prior Sala is distracted? Isaac! Damn, what the hell is that he's riding? It's not a horse. I guess it's one of the creatures he brought back.
Good morning, Sir Forge Master.
Is he gonna run into another weird, stranger again?
Smell you.
Another eclectic individual he can
You'll
just
find
have some
no
profound
fresh
conversations
bodies
with?
to kill and forge here.
Okay. She can tell without him even saying it. The old man said the same thing.
It's not every day
Can
you see a
smell you.
one-person village.
Unless Carmilla took them to Hector.
Did you do this?
Does he already have his
Oh,
army?
God, no. Quite outside my powers. There's a town 30 miles up the road. More of a prison, really.
She's a forge master.
The town is run by a magician. He has dreams of a city,
A magician?
slave population to build it.
But you're still here.
Yes.
So, you let this magician take your neighbors. I wonder why.
I'm just not as strong as I was.
I'm Isaac.
Miranda.
Miranda.
You were able to protect yourself, but
So who is this magician?
But the magic is
I thought it was
thin.
Hector maybe collecting bodies to forge, but
I'm going
I
to
don't
Styria.
think he's acting on his
Why,
own
for
just
God's
yet.
sake?
I have people to kill there.
Well, you will need more.
And
of
at one
them.
point I thought it was Saint Germain, but he's not
The
here.
magician I
He's-
spoke of has a transmission mirror, Isaac.
Really?
How
Of
many?
course, to obtain such a treasure, you will have to kill everyone in that town, thereby converting the entire population
To
into
your
a war
own
of your night
creatures.
creatures.
That sounds like the mirror from Dracula's castle, though.
Kill them all, pretty forge
Is she trying to
master,
use Isaac for her own needs?
and they'll thank you, turning them into instruments of revenge.
I don't
against
trust her. I
your
feel
race.
as though
Go and save my old neighbors and take your reward.
mad magician
Worse things
sending
in the
Isaac on a
world
mission to
than
defeat a
vampires
powerful
in
magician.
Styria, Isaac.
who would grow his army, but
Got them.
considering how powerful this guy is, he might lose more than he
Suppose we
gains.
question them.
We only need one of them for that.
Come on, do these prairie monks strike you as a talking type? I don't think they'd see even if they could.
I'm a simple man with simple pleasures.
They're all insane. Ah, it's this one. He's enjoying himself. Hasn't had a fight in a while. Ah. Guess they're not just everyday monks. I think you're having too much fun, Trevor. Let's get it over with. Let's knock him the hell out. You saw nothing, kids. Did you have to break the man's leg? I don't... Oh my god. What's wrong with the judge? Okay. Is he ill?
What's this?
Why would you bring him here?
I found your vandal. He's a very naughty monk. We caught him carving a symbol into the side of a home.
He's not going to tell you anything.
I'm telling you nothing. You can't keep me here. You can't do a thing.
We could just kill you.
The symbol has a set of meanings that taken together mean death
That was
and
you being
transformation.
nice.
They're planning something magical in nature.
It seems that way. Yeah, but he only has one mission. Get into the corridor. He doesn't care about saving the town. Didn't work last time. Why would you think it would work now? It's obvious that they don't leave this thing unguarded. I don't know. Be careful. Same excuse that you used last time won't work this time. I was trying to take a piss. You said that yesterday. Yeah, same colors as the night creature that jumped in that night. So it is alive. So the pieces and chunks that they threw out to the judge is just some other demon or bits of some other demon. Alright, episode 7 of Castlevania, and things are coming to a head. I think next episode is gonna be it's just gonna be terrific. An actual all out war against the monks of the Priory. With following Isaac a bit, we didn't get much of Hector and Lenore this episode, which I don't mind. I think we see the direction in which they're going already. But Isaac's conversation here, with the mad magician that he came across in town. I mean, it adds to what I've said earlier this episode about Isaac's story and where his story is going to lead. And more it's appearing as though he's going to be facing off against Dracula. He's going to be his belief has now changed. I don't believe he wishes for the end of the human race anymore. He keeps questioning it. But each time he does, he comes across these individuals that change him in some way, and he's not the same the next day. And we're seeing something similar happening here with this mad magician. And she said to him that there's this other magician in the next town over who's collecting all these people for this spell of some sort, and he's heading to Styria. And he doesn't necessarily have to save those people. He could just bypass them and go directly to Styria to get his revenge. But and she put it to him in a way to suggest that he has a choice, but we know what he's been struggling with over the past few episodes, and he's going to try to do the right thing and try to save those people. I guess it'll come down to whether or not he will save them, or save them and then turn them into his own night creatures to use against Carmilla. But she's right in that he's going to need it. I mean, initially when she said magician, I thought it was Isaac, because in the last episode, they did raise the point that even though they're manipulating Hector, to their side, they do need bodies for him to forge, and they can't do that without dwindling their food resource, right? So they need to get bodies from somewhere, but they're not in Styria yet. So or Isaac is not in Styria as yet. So wherever he is now, this is a separate conflict outside of Carmilla's plan. But I think all of this is to build Isaac to that character, to the point where he will no longer want to see the complete annihilation of the human race, and he will want to save, if not all, a few. And I think when Dracula does eventually make his return, Isaac is going to be one of those opposing him for that very reason. So it's going to be magician versus magician the next episode. So I think we're going to be seeing Isaac versus this magician, and I can't wait to see that. We've had a lot of hand-to-hand combat throughout the series, but not so much magic right? Not a whole lot of magic. And I imagine the Forge Masters, while they are themselves magicians, that there are other magicians out there who are capable of doing other things. I'm assuming the Forge Masters skill set is one thing on its own, and unfortunately, I don't believe Isaac is capable of doing any other magic except Forge Mastery, unless he's learned a lot of tricks over the past few months that we haven't seen as yet, right? But it'll be interesting. We're going to be seeing two magicians go at it, and we're also going to see Trevor up against the monks. I think they're going to launch their assault. They have to, because I don't think they're going to get any information from these monks. That just picking them off one by one. They're obviously a cult, and they're just not going to give the information. So as much as the judge is trying to avoid clashing with the monks, I think that's the only way forward. Saint Germain has found this, has finally made his way into the cellar, and he has found a creature. So that creature that they threw out to judge that night, the night of the attack, was not the same creature that jumped in, so they kept him. And I thought the creature was manipulating them, but he's nailed to a cross, and the cross, the statue of Jesus above the priory, the cellar, has been flipped upside down. So this is what they're worshiping now, this night creature, and they have him nailed to a cross. So so this is who they are worshiping. I can't tell if he's manipulating them or they're using him, or it could be both. We still don't see any sign of the infinite corridor, but that creature itself could be a link to it, right? It has the same color scheme that we saw when he had this vision of the night corridor. So I don't think that creature is, I don't think it's even a night creature. I think it's something that came outside of the infinite corridor and it was trying to get back through. So a lot of interesting developments there that I can't wait for the next episode to resolve. So we're getting more and more Isaac. I have no complaints there. I anxiously want him to get to Carmilla and Hector. I'm wondering if that is even going to happen this season, because there's only 3 more episodes left, and there's so many different storylines that haven't yet converged. There's Taka and Sumi with Alucard as well. But everyone is doing their own thing, and I don't think we can wrap all of that up in 3 episodes. So I mean, the Infinite Corridor thing might still be on the table, but I do want to see, I want Isaac to get to Styria. If nothing else happens this season, I want him to get to Styria, because I want to see Hector get what's coming to him, and I can't wait. Alright guys, be sure to post below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode, what your hopes are for the next 3 episodes and the season finale. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys for the next one.